All right. Tonight will be the Declaration of Independence, and like all nights, I tell you that these videos are going to be short and simple, but I promise that this one will be short and simple and to the point. So, if we're looking at the Declaration of Independence, ultimately, what I would do is I would break it down into kind of four parts. Part one, two, three, four, as you can see here. But kind of like in today's like talk or just trying to apply it to you, you should probably think of the Declaration of Independence as like a breakup letter. All right. So therefore, part one is the preamble of, hey, we're just telling you that we want to break up. Part two would be your philosophical justifications for the breakup. Here's why we're doing it. Here's our legitimate reasons for doing it. And then part three would be the complaints against the king. And then part four is, hey, we declare ourselves a new nation with new liberties and so on as well. Now, for the exam, a couple of key ideas you will have to know about the Declaration of Independence. You're not going to have to know it word for word or anything else like that, but the key ideas of here's the Declaration of Independence is it embodies popular sovereignty, which is government by the people for the people. A government should serve the will of the people, if you will. That would probably be a better definition. So that's really, really present, and when we get there, you'll see it. Natural rights, these ideas that Americans, not Americans, humans have unalienable rights. Those are God given rights. You're not given them, no one can take them away. And they're life, liberty, and property. And once again, we'll get to those two. And then the last one here is the social contract theory, where people and government enter into a contract, whereas people will give up certain liberties in return for protection from a government. Now, what a government will do is they will protect us, but they will also protect, once again, these natural rights, which are life, liberty, and property. Now, if the government doesn't live up to its end of the bargain, if it doesn't protect your life, if it doesn't protect your liberty nor property, and later on that will be used as pursuit of happiness, then you can break up and form a new government that will. So, there we go. Now, before we even start, I'm going to link two documents. This is a website I'll link to you, and then I've got a document I found a long time ago. What they are is they're basically both versions of the Declaration of Independence simplified, and I think they get right to the point, and they put it in plain speech, and they do a really, really good job of kind of simplifying the document. So I'll give you this document. I will attach that, and then I will link this website that does a really good job with it too. But here we go. Now, all I'm going to do is just kind of cover part one and part two right here and just a few things. But just start us off real quick. The unanimous declaration of the 13th United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which has connected them with another and assume the powers of the earth, blah, 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 blah. Here it is. We want to break up. That's what that is right there, okay? We're telling you we're breaking up with you. We're just giving you the courtesy of letting you know, okay? Now, down here is pretty much what you have to concentrate on is right here, okay? So we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights. So here we go. There's those allusions to natural rights, which Americans and Thomas Jefferson, who wrote this document, did not create this. This is an idea from an old philosopher, John Locke, English philosopher John Locke, who created these, and you can find them in his writings, the two treatises on government. But what it is okay, well, what are these unalienable rights? These God-given rights. Okay, life, the ability to live your life however you see fit. Liberty, once again, the ability to live that life without fear of persecution from anyone else around you. That's our liberty. And the pursuit of happiness is obviously kind of what it seems like. Pursue what you want. It used to be property, so you're able to hold on to your property and own that without any infringements whatsoever. So there's one of those first core concepts. There it is. There's your natural rights right there. Now it says that to secure these rights, government are instituted among men, deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. Boom. There's popular sovereignty right there. Once again, governments are instituted among men, so governments are composed of us, and they derive their powers from us. Okay, we buy in, we fall into what they want, and here comes the social contract, and that whenever any form of government becomes destructive to the ends, it is the right of people to alter or to abolish it and to institute a new government that will ultimately protect those natural rights. So there it is. There's the social contract theory. And basically this, the government has not protected our life, it's not protected our liberty, and it's not protected our pursuit of happiness. So therefore, we're going to break up with it and we're going to form a new government that does. There it is. There. So all three of them together. Natural rights, boom. Popular sovereignty, boom. And then more importantly down here, the social contract theory, boom. Now, ultimately, kind of when you get down a little bit farther, it says, hey, listen, mankind are more disposed to suffer while the evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms of which they're accustomed. So basically what they're saying is humans will suffer, okay? We're used to it, and it's commonplace in a lot of governments. So we'll suffer, all right? We will suffer. We have the ability to do so, but this is too much. This is too much. And then ultimately, where we are, here we are, part 3. It's just a long list of complaints versus the king. So the things that the king has done wrong against the colonists. So it is just nonstop. It's a laundry list. You can look it up if you want. I don't necessarily think you need to know this part for the exam, but it's just good to understand to say, part 1 said, hey, we're going to break up. Part 2 is saying, okay, here are some real reasons why we're just not doing it on the fly. These are real justifications for doing it. And just in case you don't buy into those things, you're like, oh, that's ridiculous if you're the King of England, then here's a long list for you of all the things you have done to us that are forcing our hand to break away. And there it is, and they are long. Now, at the very end of it, after they give the laundry list and they declare their intention to break up and so on as well, then they quit. Then they finish with kind of like a statement that says, okay, now we are no longer under you. We are now just like you. All right. So Great Britain's like a country, defined borders, the ability to create laws and so on as well, and control immigration. The United States is going to declare themselves on the same level with Britain right there. So it says, we therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, General Conference assemble, okay, do in the name and by the authority of good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of a right, ought to be free and independent states. So there we are. So we are considering ourselves on the same level as you. We're no longer under you. We are your equals, if you will. So there it is. So big part, once again, don't worry about the middle. It's just all about the first part. We want to break up, but just remember, right in there, the big parts. Natural rights, popular sovereignty. So once again, natural rights, let's go back to this. So I covered natural rights. Life, liberty, and property are inalienable rights. They're God-given rights. Then popular sovereignty. Government should serve the will of the people. And third, social contract. That people enter into a government and will give up certain liberties as long as those rights are protected, natural rights are protected. Once a government doesn't do that, then we can break up and we can form a new government that does. And the best part about this is when Jefferson writes this is he's not using his words. He's using English philosophers' words against themselves. So it's a very powerful statement. So I like it. Hopefully you like it. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow with another founding document. But don't forget, I'm going to post all of these things that I said I would below, and check out AP Classroom because there are questions waiting there for you. Okay, take care. Have a good night.